Welcome to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Kegan Miller.
And I'm Valerie Heffernan. We've got a lot in store for you guys tonight. A rainy A-Day and a statue unveiling for Auburn baseball legend Frank Thomas. Plus, we'll dive into baseball, softball, tennis, and golf. All that and more tonight on Sports Night in Auburn.
Before we get into the weekend festivities, we have a few updates. In Auburn basketball news, amidst Wendell Green declaring for the NBA and a few seniors hitting the transfer portal, the Tigers have picked up a much-needed guard. Denver Jones, a transfer from Florida International University, signed with the Orange and Blue this weekend.
Coming in at 6'4", Jones will add much-needed height to Auburn's roster. The New Market, Alabama native, averaged 20 points and 3.8 rebounds per game this season. Jones was rated the number 26 overall transfer in the country by 24/7 Sports.
For Auburn gymnastics, while their season may have been cut short in Los Angeles, fifth-year Darian Goborn will take her final bow at the NCAA Championship in Fort Worth, Texas. Goborn will be representing Auburn University as an individual competitor for floor exercise after finishing first in her session on this event with a 9.925 at the Los Angeles Regionals.
This is not Darian's first go-around at the NCAA Nationals. In fact, during her freshman season in 2019, she earned a spot as an individual on vault and went on to become Auburn Gymnastics' first ever national champion. Goborn will compete tomorrow night at 8 p.m. during the second semifinal round, and she will rotate with Utah.
Jumping over to equestrian, the Southeastern Conference released their yearly honors, and the number two Tigers won 4 SEC Rider of the Year awards, and 12 girls were honored by the SEC for their efforts this season. And Coach Greg Williams was named SEC Coach of the Year for the 5th consecutive season.
Maddie Spack received SEC Rider of the Year in horsemanship. Ellie Farango earned SEC Rider of the Year in fences. Alexia Tordoff was named SEC Freshman Rider of the Year in horsemanship and reining. Auburn had 4 SEC honors in fences, 3 in horsemanship, 3 in flat, 2 in reining. Freshman Caroline Furtenberg, Alexia Tordoff, and Caroline Buchanan were all named to the All-SEC freshman list.
This past weekend was A-Day, a yearly tradition for Auburn football. Despite the cold and rainy weather, many Orange and Blue faithful gathered in Jordan-Hare to see what first-year head coach Freeze and the new team had been working on. This year, a new change was made to the scoring. The defense started with 24 points, and it was the goal of the offense to score 24 points, and they did, ending the exhibition in a 24-24 tie. Robbie
Ashford was voted by the media as the Lionel Jones Offensive MVP. The second-year quarterback rushed for 38 yards and a touchdown on 6 carries. TJ Finley and Holden Grenier saw plenty of reps as well. The weather conditions allowed the running game to shine. Running backs Jarquez Hunter, Damari Alston, and Brian Beatty all managed to break off runs of 10 yards or more and finished with more than 4 yards per carry.
Eagle Eyes Anthony Agostinelli was at Saturday's game, and here's an exclusive take from A-Day.
Auburn's offense faced off against the defense in the annual A-Day game this Saturday. The offense started the game off down 24-0 and was tasked with covering the deficit. The weather played a significant factor and almost completely limited the pass game. Robbie Ashford went 1 of 3 for 39 passing. He was good on his feet, picking up 38 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Holden Grenier went just 3 of 5 for 17 passing yards. The running game looked pretty solid, putting up 173 yards between 3 backs. Sean Jackson having 77 yards. The offensive line played very well, and the team seemed to mesh very well together. The game would end in a 24-24 tie with a last-second field goal from Alex McPherson.
Following the game, Coach Reeves emphasized the growth that he has seen from the guys in their 15 days of spring practice. When we come back, we have coverage from Saturday morning's unveiling of the Frank Thomas statue that you do not want to miss. You are watching Sports Night in Auburn.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. Saturday morning, former football and baseball teammates, as well as proud Tiger fans, gathered right outside Plainsman Park for the unveiling of the Frank Thomas statue. And yes, the real Frank Thomas was there as well. Thomas left quite the legacy during his time on the Plains. He was a 2-sport athlete at Auburn, playing for legendary coaches Pat Dye and Hal Berg.
Nicknamed the Big Hurt, he then went on to have a 19-year successful MLB career, ending with 521 home runs, 2,468 hits, and a .301 batting average. This led him to become an MLB Hall of Fame member, inducted in 2014, and the only player inducted from the SEC. And while he has been commemorated many other places at the highest level, this statue marks his first recognition at Auburn, and he returned back to this Saturday just 40 minutes away from his hometown for the unveiling. Here's Eagle Eye's Zach Card with coverage from the unveiling.
This guy can be an All-American, a first-rounder, tight end football player, and Coach Dye listens. He said, yeah, well, he said, here's the deal. I've watched him, and Hal has said he can be a first-round baseball player. And so he's going to be a baseball player, and he's going to be on football scholarship, and that's the way it's going to be. And nothing else was ever said.
Frank Thomas could have played football. Instead, he became the only SEC player to make the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. The Big Hurt received his statue in front of Auburn's Plainsman Park with family and friends in attendance.
No way, I'm not going to talk about numbers because they're out there. I mean, the things are out there about numbers. But Frank's competitive drive and his will to win and be a part of a winning thing was something I always thought was undervalued. I really did think that.
Well, I'll give you the numbers. At Auburn, he hit for the program's second highest career batting average at .382 and the highest career slugging percentage at .722. Thomas also stands at third in home runs, fourth in extra base hits, and fifth in RBIs.
I just want to say War Eagle, and today is today that I should get a statue, because people say, Frank, whenever it's going to happen? It happened when it happens. And today is the right, perfect day. And I want to thank the Auburn family for doing this for me. And I told you right now, I'm so humble, I'm thankful, and God is good, and I'm so proud of this moment. Thank you all. Thank you for coming out, and War Damn Eagle.
Reporting for Eagle Eye TV, I'm Zach Carter.
Over the past 2 weeks, Auburn baseball has fallen into a mid-season slump. They have lost their past 2 conference series as well as both of their midweek non-conference games. Then last weekend, back at home for more SEC play, the Tigers took on Texas A&M. Auburn lost the series opener 9-5 on Thursday night, but looked to come back during Friday's doubleheader. Despite winning the first game of the day 10-9, Auburn fell in the series finale 12-6, giving Texas A&M the series win.
Finally, last night, Auburn looked back to get in the win column at Georgia Tech. After trailing 7-2 going into the 7th inning, Auburn scored 6 unanswered runs to take an 8-7 lead going into the bottom of the 9th. However, in the 10th inning, the Yellow Jackets defeated the Tigers 12-8 with a walk-off grand slam.
On a more positive note, Auburn senior Bryson Ware has been named to the Golden Spikes Award midseason watch list. He is just one of 45 of the best athletes in both college and high school baseball to be named to this honor. Next up, Auburn will travel to Tuscaloosa this weekend for the Iron Bowl of baseball against the Crimson Tide.
Bryson's tearing it up right now. Jumping to the other diamond, Auburn softball will split their last 2 SEC series over the past 2 weekends. Hosting the Rebels at J.B. Moore Field, the number 19 ranked Tigers took on Ole Miss. They secured their 5th consecutive win in the series opener with a score of 8-2. Then after falling 4-1 in Saturday's matchup, the ladies clinched the series win on Sunday, shutting out Ole Miss 1-0. This was Auburn's 2nd consecutive SEC series win.
The team then looked to continue this momentum last weekend when they traveled to Gainesville, Florida to take on the number 15 Gators. Despite losing the first 2 games of the series, the Tigers were able to win the last game in a shutout of 7-0. This was Auburn's first win at the University of Florida since 2017, as well as Auburn's 17th shutout this season.
The Tigers are back in action tonight as they take on Troy at 6 p.m. at J.B. Moore Field. The number 21 Auburn Tigers will also continue SEC play at home this weekend. The number 13 LSU Tigers will come into town and see what they can do.
It was a senior day to remember for the number 18 men's tennis team as they took down Arkansas 4-0 in the final home match of the season. Seniors Jan Galka and Spencer Gray were honored prior to the match. Jan Galka recorded both a singles win and a doubles win with partner Billy Blades.
But then on Sunday, the team was just barely upset by number 56 Alabama in Tuscaloosa 4-3. The Tigers started off hot with a doubles point from Tyler Stice and Alejandro Mourinho, who shut out Yoha Ferreiro and Matias Ponce de Leon to claim their 10th dual match win together. However, Auburn could not ultimately get past the Tide. Auburn's record stands at 17-8 and 5-5 in conference play. Auburn is set to host the 2023 SEC Men's Championship Tournament. The tournament will be held at the Yarborough Tennis Center April 19th through the 23rd.
Moving on to women's tennis, the girls split the weekend 1-1. Starting off the weekend, the number 14 Tigers fell to the number 57 Razorbacks in Fayetteville 6-1. The sole wins for the Orange and Blue came from a singles point from Caitlin Carnicella and a doubles victory from Adeline Flatch and Angela Okotoy.
Then on Eastern Sunday, Auburn got back in the win column with a shutout 4-0 win at home over Mizzou. It was a standout for freshman Angela Okotoy, who posted her 12th dual singles match of the season. Auburn has now defeated Missouri in all 10 meetings since they joined the Southeastern Conference. With this victory, the Tigers improved to a 17-6 overall record and 7-4 in the SEC.
Moving on, number 6, men's golf wrapped up their regular season with a 4th place finish at the Louis Chitengua Memorial at 14 under 838. 3 Tigers shared the Auburn lead at 3 under 210. Reed Lauder, Alex Vogelsong, and J.M. Butler all tied for 15th place with identical scores.
Freshman Lauder was the sole Auburn golfer to finish all 3 rounds below par, improving his yearly total to 12, the 5th best by a rookie in program history. Next up for the Tigers is postseason action. The men are looking towards getting its 5th conference title at the SEC Championship. That will be held in Sea Island, Georgia, April 19th through the 23rd.
Coming off a win at the Liz Murphy Collegiate Classic, the number 10 women's golf has its eyes on postseason, starting with the 2023 SEC Championship that will be held at the Greystone Golf and Country Club Legacy Course in Birmingham, Alabama. During the regular season, the Orange and Blue finished with 2 wins and 8 top 5 finishes.
All 14 SEC teams will compete in the first 2 rounds before it's cut down to the top 8 for match play. Aside from Auburn, who is currently ranked 10th, the tournament will feature 8 other ranked teams in GolfStat Top 25, including number 3 LSU, number 4 South Carolina, and number 5 Mississippi State. The Tigers are scheduled to tee off at 8:50 a.m. Central Time alongside players from Texas A&M and Ole Miss.
Auburn track and field saw some action this weekend in Texas and left the Cameron Burrell Invitational at the University of Houston with 13 event wins and 16 personal bests. The men's 4x100 relay, consisting of Favor Ashe, Ian Myers, Charlie Sexton, and Azim Fahim, snagged the gold, clocking in at 40.60. This was the first time this season this grouping has competed together, and they did not disappoint.
Seniors Eric Ebel and Maddie Malone swept the men and women's hammer throw title, and the men's shot put saw a podium sweep from Matthew Reef, Ethan Richter, and Grant Griffin. Reef's new personal best of 18.04 meters earned him the first place spot. Other notable first place wins included Luke Roberts in the 400 meter race, his second of the season, Layla Hasbrook in 400 meter hurdles, Alyssa Quinns Mixon on women's pole vault, and Rex Green in the men's 1500 meter.
When we come back, we'll dive into Auburn in the NBA.
Let's do it. The NBA regular season has come to an end, and with that, the seasons of our 2 NBA rookies have also ended. What great years they had. The Houston Rockets may have not made it to the playoffs, but Jamar Smith Jr. had himself a great first year. He became the first rookie in NBA history to have over 1,000 points, over 500 rebounds, over 50 blocks, and over 100 three-pointers.
Our other NBA rookie, Walker Kessler, also made a name for himself this season. Despite the Jazz not making the playoffs and Kessler missing out the last 4 games of the season due to concussion protocol, he is still mentioned as one of the best rookies this season. He led the NBA shooting 72% from the field, is second in blocks per minute, and is in the top 5 contended shots.
However, Auburn in the NBA is not over. Former Auburn Tiger Isaac Okoro's team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, have made it to the playoffs. While Okoro is currently injured with a knee injury, his coach hopes for him to make a return to play in their first playoff game Saturday against the New York Knicks.
Some exciting news came out today for Auburn baseball fans. Former Auburn baseball player Eduardo Julian became the 58th big leaguer in Auburn history. He makes his major league debut today for the Minnesota Twins against the Chicago White Sox. He becomes the 7th former Auburn Tiger to be called up to the major league since 2020. Good luck to him.
Well, folks, that's all we have for you tonight. Make sure to stay up to date with all things Auburn sports by visiting our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and by following our Twitter at EETV_sports. I'm Kegan Miller.
And I'm Valerie Heffernan. Good night and War Eagle.